Your mobile phone vibrates on the workshop table. Unknown number. Prefix +39 from Italy. You don't know anyone in Italy. You let it ring. You keep doing your thing, changing the oil on a delivery van. 20 minutes later, the same number again. You sigh, wipe your hands on a rag and answer just in case it's a client. Hello? Your voice sounds drier than you intended. Silence on the other end. Then a calm voice with a southern accent. Are you the mechanic from the industrial zone? The one who fixes commercial vehicles? Your heart skips a beat. You don't know why, but something about that question makes you uneasy. Yes, that's me. How can I help you? I need you to come to an address tomorrow morning. I have a fleet of vans to check. Bring tools for diesel and electronics. Look, I can come tomorrow afternoon if you give me the details and... Tomorrow at 8, I'll send you the location. Click. You stare at the screen. What bad manners, you think, but a client is a client. The address is an industrial park on the outskirts of Naples, one of those half-abandoned places where only wholesaler warehouses and Chinese workshops remain. You arrive with your tool van, park in front of a warehouse with no sign. 2 men greet you. They wear normal work clothes, but something in their gaze scans you up and down as if memorizing every detail. Come in, they're inside. Inside there are 6 vans, white, identical, all rental vehicles. An older man, shirt sleeves rolled up, waits for you holding a coffee. Thanks for coming. I need you to check all of them. Brakes, engine, electronics. I want to know if any need urgent attention. You start working. They are ordinary vans, no surprises. The 3rd one has an injection problem. The 5th has rear brakes worn to the limit. Nothing serious. The man watches you silently as you work. He doesn't talk, doesn't ask, just watches. It makes you nervous, but you focus on your job. 3 hours later, you finish. You explain what you found. Good, he says. How much do I owe you? You hesitate a second. Normally, this would be 400 euros, but something tells you he's not a normal client. 500 euros. He barely smiles. He pulls out a wad of bills, counts 700 and gives them to you. The extra is for speed and discretion. Do you have a card? You give him one. He doesn't ask, doesn't negotiate. I might call you soon for something bigger. You leave with a strange feeling. Too much money for so little work. But money is money. 2 weeks later, another call. Another warehouse. Another industrial park. This time, bigger vans with handmade armor on the doors. You notice it by the weight when opening them. You work quickly. The same man, named Roberto, or so he says, watches you as always. Have you done security modifications before? He asks. Armor, no. But I know how to handle the extra weight, reinforce suspensions, that kind of thing. Good. Because that's what I need. The work lasts all day. They pay you 1,200 euros. You don't ask questions. They don't explain. A month in, you have been 5 times already. Always different locations, always vans. You start recognizing faces. They're called the Moretti brothers, Italians, but with contacts in the Balkans. As you overhear in conversations you pretend not to listen to. One day Roberto says to you, Hey, you work on your own, right? Without employees? I have the workshop, but yes, I work alone. Perfect, because we need someone reliable. Not just anyone will do for this. He offers you a deal. 3,000 euros a month fixed for being available for urgent inspections, plus payments for each big job. No paperwork, no contracts, all cash. Your workshop gives you 2,000 in a good month. This is 50% more just for being on call. And if I can't one day? You ask. Call ahead. We just want priority. You think about bills, workshop loan, your little daughter needing dental treatment. You say yes. Now you have 2 phones. Your personal one and the Moretti one. In your contacts they are under Transportes Rossi, in case someone looks. The jobs become more varied. Installing hidden compartments in vans, checking cooling systems that don't cool food but something else, modifying fuel tanks to have double bottoms. One day they ask you to install a satellite tracking system in a van but reversed, so you can remotely turn it off. This isn't legal, right? You ask half-jokingly. Roberto looks at you sharply. You just do your job, which is fixing vehicles. The rest is none of your business, and he pays you double the usual. A year passes. Your life has 2 separate lanes, the legal workshop where you serve bus drivers and delivery men, And the other job, which always starts with a message. Can you today? Roberto has become almost like a partner. He trusts you. He recommends you to others. Once he takes you to an industrial park in Romania, a 10-hour trip, to inspect an entire fleet of refrigerated trucks. These belong to some Bulgarian friends, he says. Serious people. Behave well. The Bulgarians are serious, yes. They don't smile, don't joke, pay in €100 bills. You finish the job and leave without looking back. Your wife starts noticing things. The cash you stash in an old toolbox behind the garage. Late-night calls, voices cutting off when she enters the room. That time you left for 3 days to an advanced mechanic course and came back with red eyes, trembling hands, and an exhausted body, as if you hadn't slept a minute. Are you in some kind of trouble? She asks one night during dinner. Her voice is calm, but behind the calm you sense the worry, the doubt that wasn't there before. Me? No, honey, business is good. I have new clients, important ones. People who pay well but demand discretion. You reply, choosing your words carefully to avoid too much suspicion. Too much discretion, you say. She replies with a thread of irony that doesn't hide her concern. She doesn't press further, but you see something has broken between you. Trust is like glass. Once cracked, it never goes back to the same. And although you smile, speak normally, you know her gaze now carries a question she cannot voice. What are you involved in? Every gesture you make, every word, is now measured carefully, as if your entire life is under the microscope of someone who once believed you were unbreakable. You are given more responsibility. Now you supervise maintenance for a whole network of workshops. Naples, Salerno, Bari. You meet others like you, an Albanian bodywork specialist who does wonders with sheet metal, a Serbian electrician who installs anti-theft systems that are really systems for something else. The electrician's name is Marco. One day, while having coffee, he tells you, "You know, if this gets discovered, we're looking at a minimum of 10 years inside." I don't think about that. Well, you should. I have a plan B. Some extra money, a contact in Montenegro. Just in case. You say it's a good idea, but you do nothing about it. You believe as long as you're useful, as long as you do your job well, nothing will happen to you. Naive. The first warning comes without warning. One day, Roberto calls you with a different voice. Have you talked to Marco lately? Yes, the day before yesterday. Why? Nothing. He's no longer working with us. He went to Germany, it seems. You don't ask more. But that night, searching the internet, you find a news item. Burned body found in a ditch near Caserta. No name, no details. But you know it's Marco. Plan B was useless to him. Plan C? Subscribe to the channel and like the video. That night you don't sleep. You lie staring at the ceiling with your wife breathing beside you, and you think maybe you don't have a plan B either. Maybe your plan B has always been to stay alive one more day. Now every job is different. They blindfold you and take you to some places. You learn to count turns, memorize sounds, smells. You become an expert at knowing where you are without being able to see. One day they remove the blindfold and you're in a huge warehouse with real armored vans, the kind that look like tanks. A guy is waiting, expensive suit, shiny shoes. You are the Moretti mechanic, right? Yes. I need you to convert these 3 into police vehicles. Plates, markings, lights, everything. Can you? You freeze. That's another level. That's impersonation of authority. That's... Of course he can, says Roberto, who is behind you. He's the best. And you get to work. 3 weeks after the police vehicle job, problems begin. Roberto disappears. His phone, previously always available, now is off. The Morettis don't answer. The jobs stop. At first, you think it's a break, but the uncertainty eats you up. The money from the other phone stops coming in. Your wife asks why there's less income this month. You make up an excuse about clients paying late. One night, while eating alone, she went to bed early, you receive a message from an unknown number. Tomorrow, Warehouse 14, Kasoria Industrial Park, 8 in the morning, come alone. No name, no greeting. But you know it's from them. You arrive on time. The warehouse is half empty, only a black van in the center. There are 2 men you don't know, one young dark suit, cold gaze, another older with a grim face. Sit down, says the young one. You sit on a plastic chair. The older man stands behind you. You feel his presence like a weight on the back of your neck. "Roberto is no longer here," says the young man. "Internal problems. Now we're in charge. We need to know what you know, what you've done, who you've talked to. You speak. You tell everything. The jobs, the places, the names you remember. You have nothing to hide, but your voice trembles. When you finish, the young man nods. "Good. You keep working with us. But now the conditions change. More responsibility, more surveillance. And if you fail..." He doesn't finish the sentence. It's unnecessary. The new bosses are called De Luca. Brothers like the Morettis, but younger, more ambitious, more unpredictable. The deal now includes full availability, a tracker on your personal mobile, schedules they decide, and the prohibition to leave the region without notifying. Your wife explodes when she sees you installing an app that shares your location. "What the hell is this? Why do they need to control you?" "It's from the insurer." You lie. "Discounts for fleets if you demonstrate efficient routes." She looks at you as if seeing you for the first time. And the worst is maybe it's true. Maybe the man she married no longer exists. The first job with the De Luca is a trap. They send you to a workshop in Foggia to check some trucks. When you arrive, there is police everywhere. You freeze, sweating, about to run away. But it turns out to be a routine traffic control. No one questions you. No one stops you. When you return, you tell them. The younger brother, Antonio De Luca, laughs. "See? You're a lucky man. Luck is important in this business. It's not luck, you think. It's constant fear. Your daughter turns 8 years old. You buy her a new expensive bike with a matching helmet. She's happy, your wife too for a moment. At the party, with other parents, balloons, and chocolate cake, you almost forget who you are now. Almost. The phone rings. The other phone. You step away, answer quietly. "I need you to come now. Traffic accident, one of our vehicles. I'm with my family, I can't." Silence. Then Antonio's cold voice. "That wasn't a question." You look at your daughter blowing out the candles, her face lit by the flames, and you know that if you don't go, that image might be the last time you see her happy. You say yes. The accident is serious. A van crashed against a tree in the middle of a secondary road, isolated, where the cold of dawn chills to the bone. The driver, a kid barely 20 years old, lies motionless. He doesn't breathe anymore. The engine still smokes and the twisted metal creaks with every movement, but there's no time to dwell on that. The vehicle has to disappear before dawn. Your task is clear. Make it start enough to move it to a scrapyard and erase any trace of its existence. You work with white-knuckled hands, your heart pounding in your ears. You don't look at the driver's seat. You don't want to see the boy's remains. There's blood everywhere. Much more than you imagined. Still, your mind focuses only on the engine, the gears, the electrical connections you have to revive. After minutes that feel like hours, the van roars to life on the third try, trembling as if it knew its time isn't guaranteed. You drive it yourself, with steady hands but a churning stomach, to the scrapyard. The De Luca follow you at a distance, watchful, shadows blending with the mist. Each kilometer feels like a stretch closer to dawn, and with it, the risk that someone sees what no one should. Finally, you arrive. You park, get out, and watch as they take it away. It's 5 in the morning. The road is deserted and the sky begins to lighten with pale tones. You return home, silent, exhausted. Your wife hasn't waited for you. The new bicycle, still with a red bow, is in the hallway, intact. You sit on the floor beside it, and for the first time in hours you let tears flow. Your body cries, your soul cries, and in the quiet of the dawn you only hear the echo of what you have just done. You decide this has to end. There's no plan B, no clean escape. Every night, when the city lights go out and the streets are empty, you feel the weight of everything you have seen and done. Guilt clings to your skin, and you know that if you keep going like this, you will end buried in your own fear. But maybe there's a way out without losing everything. For weeks, while fulfilling your legal jobs and pretending the routine, you memorize every detail that could be useful. Names, places, dates, license plates, loads. Everything you observed, heard, or noted, you carefully write down in a small notebook hidden in the bathroom's false ceiling, away from curious eyes. Each page is a risk, but also a thread that could save you. One day, you decide to act. With a disposable phone to avoid leaving a trace, you contact an investigative journalist known for his ethics and discretion. You meet in a secluded bar, with dim lights and murmurs covering any conversation. You hand him copies of everything you have kept, and you see a flicker of disbelief mixed with seriousness in his eyes. He promises anonymity, protection, even a witness protection program if needed. You don't know if you can trust him, but the truth is clear. It's your only option. You leave the bar with your heart pounding 1,000 beats per minute, aware that from now on, there's no turning back. Every decision you make could be the difference between surviving or disappearing forever. Things accelerate. The journalist publishes a bombshell article, "The Hidden Networks of the Camorra in European Transport." He names front companies, workshops, illegal modifications. He doesn't mention your name, but the De Luca are not fools. 3 days later, they enter your workshop. Antonio De Luca in person with 2 thugs. "We know you talked." "I haven't talked to anyone." "You lie, that journalist. Someone gave him the data. And it could only be you or Roberto, but Roberto is dead. So, you draw the pistol you've kept under the counter for a month, the one you bought on the black market, the one you don't know if it works. You aim. They laugh. "What are you going to do, mechanic? Kill us?" And then it happens. You don't shoot. Shots come from outside. The windows shatter into 1,000 pieces, flying like glass rain onto the floor. Antonio falls, his body hitting the sidewalk hard, while the thugs also begin to collapse, some screaming, others barely moving. Everything happens so fast you can barely react. A group of men with Guardia di Finanza vests burst in, armed, determined. They throw you to the ground, handcuff you, and read you your rights with the firm voice of those who don't take questions. At the station, the cold light burns your eyes. The journalist appears, as if he's been waiting for you forever. He looks at you with something that seems like pity mixed with respect. "I'm sorry," he says, "but the only way to protect you was to arrest you with them. Witness protection wouldn't have worked. They had infiltrators. This is cleaner. You cooperate and you get out in a few years, less than hiding. You don't know whether to laugh or cry. You've been trapped 5 years, living between fear and silent orders, and now you're free. Free behind bars, but free. Your family, your wife and daughter now have new identities in another country. You won't see them again, but they are alive, and that's enough for something inside you to breathe for the first time in years." In the cell, during the first night, everything returns. The bicycle with the red bow, her smile blowing out candles, the games in the park, and also the strange feeling that finally you don't have to answer any calls. Nobody can demand anything from you. The phone doesn't ring, and if it did, you couldn't answer it anymore. You lie back on the cold bunk, close your eyes and feel something you thought lost, a pinch of peace, small, fragile, but real. Freedom has come, even if it comes with bars. In the cell, you think of the bicycle with the red bow, of her smile blowing the candles out, that for the first time in years you don't have to answer any calls. The phone doesn't ring, and if it did, you couldn't answer it.